Stay tuned because next up is David Charles Allen, host of The Hop, that's Home Ownership Podcast, to let us know what's going on with real estate in Santa Barbara.
Welcome to The Hop. This is David Charles Allen, realtor at Village Properties in Santa Barbara, California, with my great friend and co-host, Patty Teal. I'm doing wonderful today, Patty. How you doing?
I'm doing great as well. Thanks for asking.
Good to hear. Beautiful weather here in Santa Barbara. Looking ahead, about temperatures mid-70s to the upper 70s and sunny skies. So can't beat that.
You cannot beat that. 70s are pretty darn nice.
Yeah, we had almost a week or two of 80s and 90s. So it's nice to be back in the 70-degree range.
Yeah, that's pretty hot because a lot of people that don't live in the area don't realize that a lot of homes don't have air conditioning.
Yeah, so a couple, depending on where you live, you can definitely get a little toasty, but we got a bunch of beautiful places to enjoy here, the beach to cool down.
Yeah, sounds good.
Then in terms of the waves too, a little bit of a fun wind swell coming in. So if you're going to try and cool down out in the water, it's a nice time to do that as well.
Sounds wonderful.
And then in terms of how the interest rates are performing, 4.625% for jumbo and 5.125 for 30-year conforming. So again, slight movement upwards this week as comparison to last week, but not that dramatic of a change. And in terms of how the statistics have performed, we had 25 new listings, 17 price changes, 34 that closed, 24 that went pending, 1 that expired, and 2 that were coming soon. So 25 new listings is extremely low for any time of year. And then 17 price changes as well. So it seems like sellers aren't very motivated to sell right now.
Right. I know someone else said that they felt it was kind of like a pause time. People are kind of waiting to see what's going to happen next with the economy. Do you agree with that?
It could very well be that. It's just tough as a seller right now because you're not getting those crazy bidding wars like they were before. And if you had refinanced over the last couple of years, your interest rates is down to almost 3%. So if you're considering moving, you're now going to have to sell in a not so hard market. And then you're also going to have to repurchase with the interest rate closer to 5. So it's really going to change people's ability to even move. And I think that's what we talked about a lot is it's always going to be a thing about supply and demand. And the demand may have dropped a little bit, but the supply is going to stay low, it seems like, if we're still in this cycle of people not being able to move because it's too costly. So they're just going to stick it with what they are.
Yeah, that's a good explanation. Unless they're, as you've mentioned before, moving to a different part of the country where the prices are different and they can take their cash and buy something.
Yeah. So, I mean, in terms of the economy too, if you're selling something for cheaper, you're going to be buying something for cheaper most of the time too. So it's more going to be about supply and demand and about affordability, about the cost of moving and switching. So even if you go buy something cheaper, you might have the same mortgage payment because the interest rates are twice as high for you. It's kind of like a weird constraint on the market right now. And you kind of see that with only 25 new listings. I don't know if it's just because people are getting ready to go back to school or what the situation is there. But yeah, 25 is really low.
I don't know how many realtors there are in Santa Barbara. You may know. Thousands, correct?
I think almost 2,000. Yeah.
Not very many houses for sale with only 25 new listings. That's not very much.
Yeah, 17 price changes. Again, those numbers are in the high teens for multiple consecutive weeks now. So it's interesting times.
Yes, it is.
Any question of the day for me?
I was wondering about the downtown area in Santa Barbara. Regular listeners probably know that I lived in Santa Barbara most of my adult life, but I'm gone now. And I know we used to have the mall with the Macy's and the Nordstroms and a lot of active little shops. And I was wondering how they are doing it.
So Macy's and Nordstrom's are actually both closed. The bigger footprint areas aren't having as successful of a time, but there's definitely a lot of smaller shops that are doing really well.
Oh, good.
They kind of built like the promenade where they closed State Street down for traffic. And they made it so it's just like a walking corridor all down State Street, and restaurants have like outside patio seating now, and the farmers market still comes. So they kind of revitalized it with everything kind of changing over the last 2 years, and it's still very promising downtown. People still walk down it a lot. And
good. I'm glad to hear that. It's still a vibrant downtown.
it's very expensive to rent those spaces down there. There's always been a high turnover rate for shops. So you either kind of come in and succeed and do really well, or you don't last very long down there.
Or you're in and out. Yeah. I always feel sorry for those smaller vendors because sometimes they have such cute things, but it is a hard nut to crack every month.
It's very high overhead. And with so many people doing online sales now where you only have to have like a web hosting site, they just do better doing that instead of having such a high overhead. But, it's good to get your name out there sometimes and have that overhead to get some new customers.
Sure. So how are your fur babies?
Everyone's doing really well. So right when I started this call, I don't know if you heard, but Mango came and started meowing and trying nestling on me. So
I did hear. It was very sweet. I really liked that. I did a podcast with someone the other day where they had so many cats and they just kept walking in front of the screen. It actually was quite entertaining.
Yeah, right.
I liked it. Yeah. Well, I'm glad everybody's doing well so far. Everybody's good at my house too. So we'll talk more stories next week. They always have some funny things that they're doing.
Right. Always.
Yeah. All right. Well, David.
Next week.
Great talking to you. Bye-bye now.
Bye.